Hello, Algebra 2 students. Hopefully your test went well. These are the videos. I'm going to do two of them. 1 over 6.1. This is solving quadratic equations by factoring. So we have factored. In fact, we have 9 different methods, which you might need to revisit. You might have to go back and look at these. This is all in chapter 9. Oh, 9. Chapter 4 is where you'll find the 9 different methods. Okay? So if you get confused on which method to use where, you need to go back and look at those. We have a quadratic equation. Quadratic, of course, we know comes from that 2. That's when we call it quadratic, because it's got a 2 there for my degree. Now, when I'm talking about solving and factoring, we are looking at this general idea of, oh, okay, here, when I'm just factoring, there is no equal sign. When I am solving, I have to have an equal sign. Got to have an equal sign. Because there's an equal sign, I can get answers. I can actually get answers to the problems here at the end. Because these are answers, okay, these should work. Okay, these should work inside the original equation. So I plug them in, okay, they are values for x. Now's a great time to pause the video, write down all those notes if you want them down in your notebook. Alrighty, well now we're going to try to warm ourselves up a little bit here by just doing the following. I think, in fact, now would be a great time to pause the video. Make sure you copy down this section here, and then just work it out. Work it out on your own, solving those. Shouldn't be too hard. All right, now that you've had a chance to solve these, I'll just go through and I'll solve them quickly. First one here, I have to move 3, so x has to equal -3. Next one, I add 4, so I get a positive 4. This one over here, I add 1, that'll give me a 1 over here, then I have to divide, I get 1/3.
Grant Swear.
Then I would move
Report
on.
to the security desk. Grant
I
Swear.
move 7 over, then I divide by 2, and I get -7/2. So those 4 quick problems just to get ourselves going here. Then we want to revisit some of the factoring techniques. Well, we got this trinomial sitting over here. This is one of the easier factoring techniques. This is when we just took 24 here, and we're thinking about factors of 24. So we got 1, 24, 2, 12, 3, and 4, and then 4 and 3, but I cross over, so I know I'm done. We look at this, and we know that they're different. Because they're different, that means that we're going to subtract, and I want to get -5. Well, when I look at that, I see that, oh wow, I got my list here wrong. Instead of having 3 times 4, that's 12, isn't it? Instead of that, I would have 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and then 4 and 6. And I need factors that are going to subtract to give me 5. Well, I think that's 3 and 8, so I have x with an 8, x with the 3. Then I just need to figure out which one I want to be negative. I need the 8 to be negative, the 3 to be the positive. Then the next one, as we look at it, we have a little bit different problem. Now instead of being able to do the what two numbers, we have to use the guess and check. When we're doing guess and check, we draw our parentheses, we break down the 3x squared. That would be a 3x and an x. Then we will break down the 3. I have what? 3 and 1, and 1 and 3. Well, I needed to get up to an 8, so I think I'll put the 3 over here and the 1 there. Reminder, of course, this means that they're different. Okay, so I'm going to need 1 and 1 positive. Well, here, if I do this, well, 1's got to be positive, 1's got to be negative. Then I'm supposed to check. Check here, that's 1x. That'll make -9x, which gives me -8x. I don't want a -8x because I need a positive 8. Well, that means I just had the signs backwards, so I turn my signs around, and I have them factored. On to the last method. This one's a binomial. We know this one. This is the fun square root one. Is 4x squared perfect square? Yeah, it is. It's 2x and 2x. This is where I said first goes first. And then last goes last. I have this, which means that there are different signs again. And I have them factored out. Those are just some quick factoring techniques, kind of remind you of. Well, here is something that you absolutely need to have down in your notes. Now's a great time to pause it. This thing right here is super important. Make sure you have it down. The key is that I have it in order on the left and I have a 0 over there on the right. It says your quadratic function must be set equal to 0 before you begin to factor. It must be set equal to 0. All right, let's see some examples now. Okay. It says solve each equation by factoring. Now would be a great time to pause the video. Make sure you get the directions down. All right, so on my first one, I need to have the right side be a 0. So I have to move this forward. That's x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. Then I need to break down my left side trinomial, which this shouldn't be too hard. We got x and x. Factors of 12 that subtract to give me 1. Well, that's 4 and 3. The 4 has to be negative, 3 has to be positive. And now this is where we use the zero product property. The zero product property. Keys to check off. You have to have a 0. Oh, okay, that's this 0. All right, next thing. Got to have a product. Ah, that's my product right here. And now, because we have those two things, we get to use the property. Well, the property says that one of these parentheses then has to be equal to 0. This is where in class I talked about a times b equals 0. So if this is true, then a has to equal 0 or b has to equal 0. Well, here I have an a, and then this thing right here is my b. So basically all I have to do is set x minus 4 equal to 0, or x plus 3 equals 0. Then we just solve those two small equations. That's x equals 4, or x equals negative 3. And then I have my two solutions. Now would be a great time to pause the video. Make sure you understand what just happened. Okay, kind of went fast there. Nice to pause the video, go back and replay it. All right, so now I'm on to my next example here. Here I need to, again, make a 0. If I'm going to use the 0 product property, I am going to need a 0. Well, that means I got to move 4x. So that's 10x squared minus 2x equals 0. Now I got my 0. The next part then that I need to actually complete is I need a product. Well, that means that I got to break this sucker down over here. So I would, in this case, it looks like a 2x comes out of those, which would leave me with 5x minus 1. Now that I have a 0 and a product, I'm allowed to use the property. Well, the property states that I split off my two factors, and I set them equal to 0. Solving this, I think x equals 0, or what's this, 5x equals 1, so that's x equals 1, okay, and I have my two solutions. Again, in the video it seems like we're going pretty fast. It's always wise to pause it, go back, and see if you understand what's happening. Here I have my example 3. I would pause the video here and try this one out on your own. All right, now that you've had a chance to try that one out, I again would love to use the zero product property, which means I need a 0. So I have to subtract 49. That's 4x squared minus 49 equals 0. And I need a property. Or I'm sorry, a 0. Now I need a product. Well, this breaks down. It's one of those fun factoring ones. This is a 2x because that's the square root of that one. First goes first. Square root of 49 is 7. Last goes last. This means that they have different signs. Oh, well, that's positive and negative. Now I finally have my 0 and my product, which means I'm allowed to use the property. Okay, 2x plus 7 equals 0, or 2x minus 7 equals 0. I would subtract, add over here, and then I divide, and I get negative 7/2 or 7/2. Again, I found out that there are 2 solutions. Okay, well this time I'm not going to use all the cubes. Instead, I think I'll just use kind of some colors here. I need my 0 first, so I need to add 20 and add 3x. So I need to add 3x and I need to add 20. That's 3x squared plus 17x plus 20 equals 0. Then I need to factor this thing out. Well, I know that this is the guess and check. So this is 3x and an x. Then I'm thinking about factors of 20 that I'd like to use. Well, I know that they're going to have to add up to 17. So I want to be slightly below before I get there. Well, what are the factors of 20? Well, factors of 20 would be 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 and, no, 3 doesn't go in there. So what, 4 and 5? Oh, well, if I put a 4 here, that'll make a 12. And then if I add 5, that'll give me my 17. This sign, of course, remember, means the same. And then this sign tells you what kind. So that means that I know that they're both either positive or negative for this one. And then this one's a positive, so they both have to be positives. Set it equal to 0 like I had above. And now I'm set up to use the property. That's 3x plus 5 equals 0, or x plus 4 equals 0. Subtract, and I get negative 5/3 or a negative 4. Great time to pause the video, double check that you understood how we did that. So I'm on the last 2 problems that I'm going to do on this video. There are 2 more worked out on the static notes online, so you can feel free to check it out, along with an ACT type problem. Okay, but this will be the last one that the last 2 that I'm going to do up here on the board. I would pause the video if I were you and try to work this one out on your own first. All right, now that you've had a chance to try this one out, I need to get my 0. So to get my 0, I have to add this stuff across and subtract it. I would get 36x squared minus 60x plus 25 equals 0. Then I need to factor that. I think this looks like one of those nice ones. I got the square root of 36x squared is 6x. 6x. First comes first. And the square root of 25 will be 5 and 5. This sign tells me that they're the same. So they're either both positive or both negative. This sign tells me what kind. Oh, well, then that means that they're both negative. that equals 0. I have a 0 and a product, which means that I'm ready for the property. These are both the same exact parentheses here, though. Which means that I should get the same answer twice. That's not a big deal. In fact, when it comes to second semester, you're going to find out what this actually does with the graph of these things. But for now, I think we'll just list it twice. And then I'm on to the last one for this video. Okay, this is the last problem I'm going to do in 6.1. Now would be a great time to pause the video and try this out on your own. Alright, so you guys have had a chance to try to work through this. You should have at least gotten to this point at some time. Okay? Here I wanted to pick back up the video, and I wanted to talk quickly about this one being factored. I have my 0. That's nice. I got my 0 here. But I now need to factor this out. Remember, the first thing that we always said was we wanted to take out a GCF if we could. Now, if I divide all these by 2, I should be able to, since it's just a number, this is just a number, no variable. Because it's no variable, I can actually divide the 0 by 2, which will leave me with x squared plus 20, oh sorry, that's not 20 anymore. 20 divided by 2 would be 10x minus 24 equals 0 still. This thing right here, that 2, okay, that's a GCF, and in this case it's got a special name. It's known as a scalar. If you've ever seen a model, okay, like a model building before they actually build the real thing, they always say it's drawn to scale. Well, that would mean that that thing is like a smaller version of the real thing. In this case, what's happened is the blue equation is twice as big as this green equation. I've just scaled it up. Okay. Well, I don't like it being that big with those big numbers, so we scale it back down, which is why we divided it out. And now I just need to factor this thing. It becomes a simple factoring. I know that there's an x and an x. I need factors of 24 that subtract to give me 10. Well, I think that's 12 and 2. Again, this means that they're different. And this means that the bigger one takes that value. Oh, so the 12's got to take that one, and then negative 2. I got my 0 over here. Now, not only do I have my 0, but finally I have my product, which means I'm allowed to use the property. That's x plus 12 equals 0, or x minus 2 equals 0. And I get x equals negative 12, or x equals. And that completes the video for 6.1.